What's up, guys? Got another UFC video here. It's going to be on the UFC on Fox 21 card, MAIA vs CONDIT. This is going to be a video on my predictions and picks with some fight analysis, and it's going to be on the Fox Prelims part of the card. So if you guys don't have Fight Pass, these are probably the fights you guys are going to probably watch first instead of Fight Pass. So yeah, these are going to be like, on your, obviously your Fox channel. So anyways, Fox Prelims. This is the first fight on that portion of the card, and yeah, we got Shane Campbell against Felipe Silva, two strikers that come from a multi base. Let's go ahead and check them out. So let's go ahead and start with Shane Campbell here, and I remember picking him to win, I think very recently, or did I pick him to lose? I forgot. Yeah, I picked him to lose against Eric Koch. I just thought Eric Koch was going to be a lot more fresher, and yeah, he was able to get that win. But I know a lot of people were actually picking this guy over Koch. Anyways, 29 years old, 6 foot tall, 71-inch reach. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. The only fight he won was against Elizeu, who is actually a decent fighter, but he has not fought in a while. He's been very inactive. Before that, he lost to McDessie. That was his UFC debut. He got knocked out in the first round. Wasn't doing too bad, but eventually got knocked out by McDessie. Against James Krause. Krause is just overall the more well-rounded fighter, and actually Campbell didn't do too bad either. He landed way more significant strikes. The takedowns are even, but Krause had the submission attempts and whatnot, pretty much that won him the fight, as you guys can see there by the stats. And of course against Eric Koch, he got taken down by him and he got tapped out. What else? So as you guys can see right here, it says thoughts on opponent. My understanding of Felipe, that he is that multi guy, and he's excited to show the crowd some real multi with someone that will stand with me. So it seems like no one really wants to stand with Campbell. A lot of people, will attempt takedowns, like Koch, who's actually a striker, but has some good submission skills, which is why I picked him, and actually picked him to win by submission, and he ended up getting it, which was very nice. But yeah, he's a striker, and he took him down. Krause, he's not really a striker, and yeah, it was pretty obvious he was going to take him down. Silva took him down also. McDessie, he's the only guy that stood up with him, but he's a really good striker also, McDessie. So yeah, not a lot of guys stand with Campbell and win. Now Felipe here is making his UFC debut. His summary, they just label him as striking. 32 years old, so he's 3 years older. 6 foot tall also, but look at the reach, 77-inch reach compared to 71-inch for Campbell. So this guy's longer right here, and that's going to be effective in the fight. 6-inch reach advantage. Thoughts on his opponent? It's a perfect matchup. Both of them obviously have good kickboxing and multi-style. Yeah, both of them are gonna pretty much bang it out, I think, also. But yeah, Felipe here, 6 first-round finishes, 5 wins by knockout, 1 by submission and armbar, and most recent win was against the UFC vet Anton Kavanen. 45-3 pro record in kickboxing with 41 knockouts, and also, as you guys can see there, BJJ purple belt. Of course, you guys mostly already know. Most of these Brazilian fighters have that multi-style with some jiu-jitsu also. So yeah, guys, the way I see this fight playing out is I see it obviously playing out on the feet. Both of them are really good strikers. I do think Campbell is the more likely one to take it to the ground. We know Campbell has weaknesses on the ground, but I just don't really see Silva attempting takedowns, unless maybe he just wants to mix it up. But I really think Felipe really wants to keep this fight on the feet, and I think Campbell wants to keep it on the feet, but if for some reason he feels he's losing the fight on the feet, then this guy will go for takedowns. He does have some takedowns, obviously, in his MMA game. You guys see that by his grappling stats. He doesn't get them most of the times. You guys see their takedown accuracy is pretty low. Doesn't attempt a lot of takedowns, but he does have that in his arsenal, and he could use that in this fight against Felipe Silva. But I just really think Felipe Silva here has the power, I actually think he has the better striking, And yeah, I just really see him beating Campbell, guys. I know a lot of people are picking Campbell. I initially was thinking about Campbell also, but You know, I just think a lot of people are sleeping on Silva, and yeah, this guy seems to have some good power, has a reach advantage, and I just expect him to look a lot faster and sharper than Campbell, pretty much. You know, from some training clip I see on Instagram, you know, this guy's pretty fast, you know. So I just see him being fast, explosive with his striking, and a lot more sharper. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Silva here to guys. I'm gonna go ahead and take Silva here to win, guys. And you know what? Campbell seems to be like a tough guy, but I mean, McDessie was able to knock him out in the first round. Felipe Silva, I want to say, has about the same power as McDessie, and also has super good striking to go along with it, and especially the reach. So, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and just say Silva by first round knockout, guys. You know, it's kind of like a bold prediction, but I mean, I'm not gonna be surprised if it's a second round knockout. But yeah, let's go ahead and go with first round knockout here for Silva. Most of his wins are in the first round by knockout anyway, so yeah, I'll take Silva by first round knockout. Moving on to the next fight, we got Gareth McLellan against Elizeu de Chirico. I'm gonna open up their pages real quick, but this is gonna be a really quick pick here. So we got Gareth McLellan here. Summary is well-rounded and a calm head. 33 years old, 72-inch reach. His last fight was against Magnus Sedenblad. He got knocked out in the second round. The fight didn't last that long, and you know, he wasn't really too active in that first round or whatever. But yeah, he got starched in that second round by, I think it was a head kick, or yeah, I think it was a nasty head kick or some sort of knee, something like that. Before that, he actually had a win against Bo Bush, who's not really a UFC level opponent. That guy hasn't even won a fight in the UFC yet. Then he lost to this other guy, Bartosz Fabinski, who I don't even know. So yeah, 3 wins by knockout, 7 first round finishes. Won 7 out of last 9. Go ahead and move on to Elizeu de Chirico here. So this guy's a prospect. 9-1 record, ground game, power, and finishing ability is the summary there. 26 years old. So this guy's a younger fighter here, as you guys can see. 6 foot tall and 74-inch reach. So he actually has a little bit more length than Gareth. His fight in the UFC, his UFC debut was against Bojan Velasquez, and some people actually thought Chirico here won the fight, and I mean, just based on the stats, it does look like he won the fight here. So I mean, it was a close fight, but Bojan was able to get the nod there. But yeah, this guy shows he's pretty well rounded. He has takedowns, you know, has a good ground game, obviously. I don't know what kind of belt he has. I don't think they list that here, but he does have a good ground game. Has really good striking, good power in his hands. 4 wins by KO, 4 by submission, 3 by rear naked choke, and 1 by key lock. 5 first round finishes. So this guy's a finisher and has some power, you know, on the feet, and obviously some good submission skills also. So yeah, guys, about that quick pick, I'm gonna go ahead and take Elizeu de Chirico. I just think Chirico is just better all around. I think he's just better in every aspect here, and I really expect him to pretty much either dominate the fight for 3 rounds or get a at least a second round finish here. You know, I just think Elizeu here is a more complete fighter. The prospect here, Gareth, has not really been looking too good here. Doesn't really seem like a UFC level type of guy. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Elizeu here to win, and you know, this guy's a finisher. I'm going to go ahead and just say second round knockout. So, yeah, Chirico, second round knockout is my pick. Moving on to the next fight, we got Barzola against Kyle Bochniak. Let's go ahead and open up the pages here. Featherweight fighters. Very similar here on the stats. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so here's Barzola's page, 11-2 record. His summary is physical strength and wrestling, which this guy really likes to do in his fights. Anyway, he's 27 years old. Getting a little bit comfy here, guys. 27 years old, 5'7", 145 pounds, reaches 70-inch. His only fight in the UFC was against Horacio Gutierrez. Horacio Gutierrez, if you guys didn't know, he just got starched by Ishihara not too long ago. And yeah, Barzola pretty much just implemented a grinder yeah, so what I was saying here is pretty much Barzola just pretty much grinded out Gutierrez here on the whole fight. Landed 5 takedowns here, some significant strikes here and there, but I mean, pretty much just took him down. That's all pretty much did. Horacio Gutierrez here was lacking takedown defense, and Barzola seemed very explosive with his takedowns. And yeah, it looks like he just gets those takedowns and whatnot. So this guy seems like pretty much just a grinder. Anyways, now moving on to Kyle Bochniak. We got a 6-1 record. Summary is tenacity, cardio, the will to do harm, 70-inch reach. So both these guys pretty much around the same age, same reach, very similar on the stats there. This guy's UFC debut is against Charles Rosa, and he lost the fight, but he looked pretty good in that fight. You know, he hurt Rosa on the feet, and yeah, he looked pretty good in that fight. You know, this guy has some power in his hands, seems kind of explosive, and yeah, really has some good boxing also. Blue belt and BJJ. What else do we got here? 3 first-round finishes, 2 wins by knockout, 2 by submission. He's very young in his career, only 6-1 record. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick. I'm gonna go ahead and take Kyle Bochniak, guys. I just think this guy seems to be a little bit more well-rounded. I think he has the better striking. His takedown defense didn't look too bad against Charles Rosa. Of course, this guy Barzola has really good takedowns and seems very explosive with them. But I just think Bochniak still, you know, I think his takedown defense will hold up. Also, the fight against Charles Rosa was on short notice. I think when I was watching it, they said 4 days notice or some shit like that. Anyways, it was really short notice, and yeah, you know, obviously this guy got tired on the fight, and I expect him to look a lot more sharper, his cardio to be a lot better, and I really expect this guy to just come in and look, you know, really strong and fast in this fight. So I'm going to go ahead and take Kyle Bochniak. Now this guy's a finisher, so you know, I want to say he gets a finish here. I'm not sure Barzola here has ever been finished. Does have 2 losses in his record. But I'm going to go ahead and take Bochniak to win by, you know what, let's go ahead and just say a 3rd round knockout, because this guy has some good boxing. So Bochniak, 3rd round knockout's my pick. Moving on to the next fight here, we got Sam Alvey versus Kevin Casey. This is the featured fight on the Fox Prelims. Now, usually I want to open up the fighters' pages, but I mean, I don't really have to here. I mean, we've seen these guys fight pretty recently. Sam Alvey fought Eric Spicely, and he knocked him out, I think, in the 1st round. And Kevin Casey got a draw in his last fight against Elvis Mutapsik. Some people thought Mutapsik won the fight, but some people thought Casey won the fight. Anyways, that fight was a draw. Casey, of course, does what he always does. He gasses, you know, halfway into the 2nd round, and that's when people start, you know, pretty much taking over the fight and start beating him up. Alvey here, great power in his hands, the better striker here in this fight. Also, really good takedown defense, and Kevin Casey here, you know, his takedowns aren't super good. You know, obviously he's a big guy, so he could muscle you down to the ground, but man, when this guy gasses, it's pretty much over. I really expect Alvey's takedown defense to hold up here, and yeah, I just really think Alvey here is going to get this win. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Sam Alvey here, guys, to get the win. I think he's going to get a finish. And Kevin Casey, you know, he starts off good in the 1st round, but he really gasses in that 2nd round. You know, I just really think Alvey here can get another 1st round finish. So I'm going to go ahead and take Alvey here, guys, and I think he's going to get a 1st round knockout. Alright, guys, so to recap on my picks here, I got Felipe Silva to win by 1st round knockout. I got Chirico to win by, I think I said 2nd round knockout. Yeah, so 2nd round knockout here for Chirico, and Bochniak 3rd round knockout, and Sam Alvey 1st round knockout. So those are my picks here, guys. You know, obviously I predicted all of them to be a finish, and I really do see that happening. But I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised if Bochniak gets a decision win or Chirico gets a decision win. But I do expect a finish in the Silva and in the Alvey fight. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for the picks for these fights, and yeah, stay tuned for the main card picks. So yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. catch you guys on the next one.